Om Gajananam Bhuta Ganati Sevitam Kapista Jambu Phalasara Pakshitam Umasutam Shoka Vinasha Karanam Namami Vigneshwara Pada Pankajam Gurur Brahma Gurur Vishnu Gurur Devo Maheshwaraha Guru Sakshat Parabrahma Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha Vasudeva Sudam Devam Kamsa Chanuramardanam Devaki Paramanandam Krishnam Vande Jagadgurum. Om. So last class we started with the Sankhya Yoga. Still Krishna has not spoken, but today he will speak. So we are going to start with lesson 6 today. As usual, I will give you a very quick overview of this lesson. The background, you know that Arjuna has overcome with grief and he feels helpless. He is not able to make a decision, he feels helpless. And therefore, he has surrendered to Krishna. And he is seeking Krishna to help him out. After saying all this, he just remains silent. Stalemate, he is not able to talk anything more, and Krishna is also silent. The lesson today, you start, Krishna speaks for the first time. And you will find Krishna is gradually developing a theme on how to really help Arjuna to overcome his grief and find solutions. And it is not a short speech. So you might be wondering, how is it that in a battlefield Krishna is able to speak so many verses? It is beyond my explanation. I can't answer that question because it is possible that the war was halted for some time until Krishna finished. So the Gita Upadesham actually begins from verse 11. But to give you a background, I am going to start with the verse 9. Sanjaya Uvacha Yeva Mukva Hrishikesham Gudakeshaha Parantapaha Nayotsya iti Govindam Uktva Tushtim Babuvaha. Now, Sanjay is actually telling Dhritarashtra. Now this we covered last lesson, but I want to say a few words about this Parantapa. Now, Parantapa means, what did I tell you last week? The scorcher of enemies, tormentor, terror. Nadunguvanga, apdiye pera kataga. You know, we've had people like that, but just the name itself will cause terror. Even in recent times, this is 20th century, if one heard the name of Hitler, it was a terror. Slightly earlier, Genghis Khan. He was a terror in Mongolia. Earlier in the history, you had Alexander the Great, who invaded India. He invaded quite a number of countries, but he was a terror. So at that time, Arjuna was a terror. You know, in Bhagavatam you have got different chapters, and there is one called Virata Parvam. Virata Parvam explains the period when the Pandavas were in exile. 12 years they have to go out. The 13th year they have to remain incognito. They should not identify themselves. So if they identify, then again 12 years they have to go back. That was a kind of punishment. So they had to find some place where they can live without being noticed by anybody. So they went to the Viratas. There was a king Virata, his kingdom, and all the 5 brothers assumed different roles. Dharmaputra became the entertainer, game entertainer to the king. And Bhima became a cook in the kitchen. Arjuna was teaching dancing. He dressed like a woman.
This is a lady, right? Yeah.
Like a woman, and then he started teaching dance. And Nakula and Sahadeva, they tended animals. Nakula was tending the horses. Sahadeva was taking care of the cows as a cowherd. And Draupadi was actually helping as a servant maid. And Duryodhana was bent on raising them. Somehow he had the feeling of revenge and feeling of attacking them somehow. How to find out where they are? So he sought the advice of everybody, and Bhishma gave him a clue. He said, look, wherever Pandavas go, there will be prosperity. There will be prosperity. You just find out which kingdoms have suddenly become prosperous. Then you will know where the Pandavas are. After that, of course, is your job how to find them. And they started putting a data analysis of all kingdoms. They found on the radar, this King Virata's kingdom came up. So they knew that there must be somewhere there. So what they did was, Duryodhana attacked the kingdom. And you know, at a time when King Virata was not there, only his son, who was a prince, his name was Uttara Kumar, he was there. Uttara Kumar, suddenly he started shaking in his legs because Duryodhana and army means very mighty army, he will get defeated, no doubt. So he was wondering what to do. He didn't want to fight. But Arjuna, even though he was acting as a lady, he told him, fight. I will help you. And I will become your charioteer. He became Sarathi of Uttara Kumar, like Krishna to Arjuna. And then he said, I will drive the chariot and you will win. I will tell you how to fight and you will win. And he helped Uttara Kumar to win. Duryodhana's army was defeated back. At that time, Arjuna, even though he was not a normal person, he was hiding, he was able to win over this without any sense of, guilt. This time, the same army, he says, I don't want to fight. Such a big warrior he was. And before that, he had to pray to Shiva to get weapons, celestial weapons. So he was in meditation, praying. Then somehow again Duryodhana wanted to kill him. So he sent one asura called Mukasura. Mukasura took the form of a pig, a wild pig. And he went into the forest and he wanted to disturb Arjuna's parents, because then once it disturbs him, he won't get the weapons. Arjuna was very disturbed. So what he did, he shot an arrow. The pig died. So he went there and suddenly he found some noise coming, and there was a tribal person, hunter, who said, what do you think? I shot this pig and it's mine. Arjuna, he got ruffled. He said, what is this? I am the greatest archer. And this hunter, he says, it is mine. How can he said, no, it was my arrow. There was a big fight. So the hunter said, you come, let's fight. They fought. And Arjuna found it was very difficult to win over this person. Ultimately, Arjuna had to fall down, and this person, hunter, put his foot on him and looked at him. When Arjuna looked, it was Lord Shiva himself. So then he realized he was fighting with Lord Shiva. See, such a great warrior, he was fighting with Lord Shiva himself. Then Shiva said, look, I came to test you, whether you are capable of handling the weapons, and you are qualified now. So I am going to give you the Pasupatastra. That's how Arjuna got Pasupatastra. So this is Parantapaha, such a great warrior, feeling helpless now and unable to fight. The reason why I am saying this is because one may be very highly qualified, one may be very highly experienced, may think that, well, I am competent. At times, such people feel helpless for various reasons. So Gita is also a management lesson. It is teaching a lot of lessons for especially senior people in executive positions who have to take decisions. And sometimes they feel how to take a decision because it is like between the devil and the deep blue sea. Which way, this way or that way. You want to acquire a company, do we do it or don't we do it? You know, that kind of decision. So this a lesson because it is a hero and he is not able to really take a decision. That is the meaning of Parantapaha here. So let's go. This is what Sanjaya told Dhritarashtra, and the second verse on that you can see there is a sign of the Lord's blessing coming up here. Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha
Tamuvacha Hrishikeshaha
Prahasanniva Bharata
Prahasanniva Bharata
Senayor Ubayor Madhye
Senayor Ubayor Madhye
Vishidantam Idam Vachakha.
Vishidantam Idam Vachaha.
Sanjaya is actually addressing Dhritarashtra at Bharata because he has come to the Bharata Vamsha. Senayor Ubayor Madhye said to him, said Rishikesha, Prahasanniva is, Prahasan means smilingly. Now, a smile is always an indication that something is going to come. You watch many people speak in public platforms. When they come and stand before the podium, they give a very gentle smile. For a few seconds, everybody will be watching what is this fellow going to say. So, like that, Krishna is just giving a very gentle smile. Look what's going to happen, just watch. Prahasanniva Bharata. Senayor Ubyor Madhye Vishidandam Itam Vachaha. Vishidandam to the sorrowful Arjuna, who is standing in the middle of the two armies. Vachaha means speaks. But this Vachaha has got a lot of meaning because this Vachaha is really that complete Gita Upadesha. Because it's just not one word he speaks. He is going to speak from the next verse onwards, which is going to be verse 11, until verse 66 of chapter 18. You see how long this Vachaha means. Entire Gita, this is the beginning. Vachaha is referring to Gita Upanishad's starting point. And the Lord smiles and is going to say something, there is something great going to happen. So that is an indication which is given by Sanjaya to Dhritarashtra. So let's move on to the next verse.
This is what we've been waiting for.
Sri Bhagavan Uvacha
Shri Bhagavan Uvacha
Asocyan Anvasochastvam
Ashocyan Anvasochastvam
Prajnavadancha Bhashase
Prajnavadam Shabashase
Gatasun Agatasum Cha
Gatasun Agatasum Cha
Nanusochanti Panditaha.
Nanusochanti Panditaha.
It's a beautiful verse where Bhagavan starts speaking. The Gita shows special importance because it is directly coming from the mouth of Bhagavan himself. It is not a hearsay or anything. So it assumes a very significant importance. It is the first verse where Bhagavan opens his mouth after listening to all these in the entire first chapter. So here, Krishna is no longer Sarathi. So far, he was a Sarathi, a charioteer, silently obeying the directions given by Arjuna. Now, he becomes a Gita Acharya. He becomes a Guru because Arjuna has already said, I am your disciple. So he becomes a Gita Acharya. And that is why is also called the Jagat Guru. The title given in the first slokam we had, Krishnam Vande Jagat Gurum. Who said that? Adi Shankara. In Krishnashtakam, Adi Shankara says that. So he is called Jagat Guru. And he is also said Sarvam Vishnumayam. Adi Shankara. Sarvam Vishnumayam. Not Sarvam Shivamayam, Sarvam Vishnumayam. So here Bhagavan is becoming a Acharya, and this particular slokam you can say it's kind of a, what do you call, a keynote address. When somebody, it's a big seminar or workshop, you have somebody coming and delivering a keynote address. What is meant by keynote address?
It's the opening address.
It's an opening address which sets the direction for the event. It could be a seminar or a workshop, whatever. A public event where you are going to talk about various subjects, and the keynote address is usually given by a very acknowledged, knowledgeable speaker who sets a tone for the entire proceedings. So that's what is called keynote address. It's opening a door, the key. So this is a keynote verse given by Krishna, because this is going to give you, set the directions where it is. There is entire Gita is based on just one central theme, which is called Atma Vidya or self-knowledge, to know oneself. Atma Vidya or self-knowledge. And ignorance in this case is not bliss. You are going to come out of ignorance. You are going to know many things. So the basic central theme is be aware of yourself, know yourself, self-knowledge. Who am I? Big question. There is the famous 3 letters, we have the Brihadaranyaka Upanishad, what it says. Asatoma Sadgamaya Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya Mrityorma Amritam Gamaya. These are 3 sentences taken from Brihadaranyaka Upanishad. Only light can remove darkness. Tamasoma Jyotirgamaya. It only is from darkness you go into light. It also means from ignorance you go into knowledge. Panditaha. What is meant by Pandita? In school we used to have Pandit, Panditaha means wise people. Wise people. Wise. The wise do not grieve. Do not feel sad. I'm saying the first word from the last of this sentence, because that only will make sense for you. Panditaha, the wise do not grieve. Gata soon. Gata, agata. Gata means what?
Come. No, go.
Agata has come.
Gone, dead,
Gone.
not existing. Agata means coming. Agamam. In the railway stations, you find Agamam, arrival train.
Argument.
So, Gata soon means those who are dead, which includes everything, not only human beings, but also things like property, home, television, car, whatever. You sell off, it's gone. So, Gata soon. Agatan soon, that those which are existing today, those who are living. So it's actually 2 words here. Gatasu, agatan suncha. Nanu sochanti panditaha. Nanu sochanti means they do not grieve. Asochan sochastvam pragyavadancha bhashase. Asochan, you grieve. Asochan means you are. He's addressing Arjuna. You are grieving for those who don't deserve your grief. Who don't deserve? The Kauravas.
Kauravas.
They don't
Yeah.
deserve his grief. But you are grieving for those who do not deserve your grief. Pragyavadanta, and you are still arguing as if you know everything. Pragyavada. Vadam naka
Debate.
debate.
Argue. Yeah.
Prajna means
Using your brain.
no, knowledge.
Knowledge.
Jnanam, prajnanam. There is pre-knowledge, you can say. You talk as if you know everything. Pragyavadam cha bhashase. Bhashase means you are talking. You are talking as if you know everything and you are grieving for those who don't deserve your grief. Panditaha, they don't grieve. For those who are existing as well as for those which are not existing. So this is actually a very subtle way of saying that people get worried and people become sad for no reason because of their attachment to something. But the wise people, Panditaha, they don't grieve. And you will find this quality amongst leaders. I'm coming to that little later. The leaders don't grieve. Even if something is lost, they would go up again. Even if they fall, they will get up. It is not the fall that matters, but it is how you get up from the fall. That is how they do it. So Krishna's approach here to Arjuna, it starts with a philosophy. The philosophy that you have to go from ignorance to knowledge. And you are talking, you are assuming yourself that you know everything, but you do not know. The wise people don't grieve for that. So it starts with this philosophy.
Like Abraham Lincoln.
Natvevaham jatu nasam
Natvevaham jatu nasam
Natvam neme janadipaha
Natvam neme janadipaha
Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha
Nachaiva na bhavishyamaha
Sarve vayamataha param.
Sarve vayamataha param.
Now there are two things you should know before I start explaining the meaning of this. One is Krishna is adopting a multi-pronged approach to help Arjuna. You know, in many things there are certain steps required. Like you say, Samadhana Vedadandam. You know what it means? What does it mean?
So first you try to explain.
First you talk samadhana.
Samadhana. If you talk to somebody, you tell a child, don't do that. Nice word, I'll give you candy and all that. That is dhanam.
What is that?
You are
Bribing
giving
is a
something
dhanam.
to appease someone. I'm giving you candy, so please don't do it. Vedam is
Threaten.
comparing with somebody. No,
Bathe.
you
Right.
compare with somebody.
Mm.
Like Viju used to be in
Hey.
Dubai, he will refuse to eat in the morning. Then his father will do samandhanam.
Mm.
He will not. Then he will take him inside the room and says, Vinayak, his neighbor.
Mm.
His Vinayak is a very good boy, he always eats his breakfast first. Don't you do like that? So I don't like Vinayak. Then finally he'll close the room and there will be some noises. After 5 minutes or so, the father and son will come out smilingly and he would have already eaten the breakfast. That is dandam. So this is stages. So here Krishna is adopting a multi-pronged approach. He doesn't immediately jump into everything. He says, first let me try this philosophy. Philosophy, some people like it, some people don't like it. Tattvam. Enada tattvam pesarana appdi solluva silkide. But but it is also required because you have to understand many things if you don't know. So tattvam deals with reality, existence, knowledge, values, reasoning, mind and everything. Usually very difficult. One of our former presidents, President Radhakrishnan, he was a philosopher. And once he addressed the crowd, he said, my philosophy begins where your reason ends. Because it doesn't completely fuse with reasoning. Because some things you cannot reason out. You have got to say, well, this is my philosophy. So, my philosophy begins where reason ends, he says. So like this here, philosophy is spoken about. Bulk of it is philosophy in this. But the second approach he has is on ethics, that what is right to be done, what is dharma. In the previous lesson we talked about it, right? He talks about dharma, that you cannot go and beg. You are not qualified. It is not your dharma. So dharma is another approach that he is trying, that it is not right on your part, it is not good conduct on your part, not to fight. The third one is really the materialistic or pragmatic kind of advice, why you should act in such a way, which is, I think, very practical and what you should do. So it is a kind of multi-pronged approach. But in this, bulk of it is all philosophy. He adopts the second two steps only in slighter doses, smaller doses. So that is one. And the second thing I wanted to tell you about this, the background about this particular verse. From here onwards, from this verse till about verse 25, the focus is mainly on understanding the trueness of self, the nature of self. And first we need to understand some basics before really going into every word there, because it's always confusing. There is a beautiful scripture composed by Adi Shankaracharya, which is called Tattva Bodha. Tattva Bodha, it is knowledge of truth. And it tells us that all our problems, irrespective of what it is because of ignorance of self. And there are a couple of points which says, one is that every living being is a conscious entity. Every living being, not just human being, every living being. There is consciousness in everybody, but not a part, a property, a product of the body. It is something independent, it is a separate entity by itself. And you don't find it in inert objects like a wood or metal or any of the other non-living bodies. It manifests itself, like for example the electricity. Now there is electricity, it is lighting up all the lamps here. It is also being used for the television or camera. It's also used for our grinders, so many other purposes. The common thing is electricity which runs it, but it runs through various devices. So like this, the conscious entity is also running through various beings. But it is common, it is independent. Electricity is independent, the device is independent. So likewise you have. Secondly, this particular entity is totally independent, not bound by any limitations. Like you have parts of the body, you have a hand which obeys what your brain thinks, and it has got a limitation. It can reach only a particular, or legs can walk so much limitation. But this independent entity does not have any limit. It is without any limit. Thirdly, when the living body is gone, the consciousness is still there, but it does not manifest itself. For example, if my vacuum cleaner is broken down or my camera doesn't work, it doesn't mean electricity is not there. It is there, but it doesn't work, that's all. The same way the consciousness exists even though it is not manifesting in something because it doesn't work anymore. So it is called Jakta and Abhyakta. Jakta means one which is manifested. Abhyakta means one which is not manifested. What you call this consciousness, there is a name for it. It is called Atma. Atma. Now, it is one entity. It is imperishable, cannot be destroyed. The opposite of this is called Anatma. which is the mortal body and mind system, you can say, to distinguish it from Atma. Atma is all pervading. And therefore, we are coming in this particular lesson, in this particular verse, something to do with Atma. Now, we must realize that all of us are mortals. Everybody has to know that there is an old age. And one has to realize that body is being used as an instrument. And there is human experience, and Gita teaches us to shift our thinking from the mortal things into immortal things. Like tamasoma jyotirgamaya, mrityorma amritam gamaya. Amritam really means immortality, not living forever, but immortal things. So it's a kind of a spiritual advice to know about Atma, and what is also called Chaitanya. So the physical body is something which I experience only in the wakeful stage, when we are all awake. But during sleep, we don't. Because I do not use the body for doing any work. Even my mind is at rest. So no more computer, no more iPad, no more cell phones. Just you are in a different kind of state, which is a kind of bliss. Only there is a life in you, you are breathing, but other activities stop. So Krishna, he talks about Atma and its features. As you will notice from here, he says, Nityaha. It's not coming up a little later, but I am giving you this background right now because this is going to be essence of this particular verse 12. Nityaha means eternal. Atma is eternal. In life, as in body and without body also. Kalatrayepi tishtati is a saying. All the three, it is always there. Kalatrayepi tishtati. Nirvikaraha, it does not change its form. Life manifests through your hand and leg, but body changes, but not Atma. Sarvagataha, all pervading Sarvatma. Sarvavyapi as they call it. All pervading, omnipresent. Ramakrishna Paramsa says, there is a story, a beggar. There was a king, and the king wanted to know where is God. So he was asking everybody, nobody was able to give him answer. One day one beggar came, I'll tell you. So he says, you know what it means? If you don't tell me properly, your head will be gone. We'll behead you. There's no problem, but you have to accept my condition also. What is the condition? When you are asked this question, I will be in your seat and you have to be in my row. So in other words, I will become a king and you will be a beggar. So the king wanted to know what is he going to say. He said, okay, all right, you sit on my throne. And this fellow sat there with the crown and everything. And the king wore the beggar's clothes and said, no. He says, where is God? So he said, get me a bowl of milk. So they got a bowl of milk. And he says, this milk, if it is converted into curd, then from the curd you churn it, you get butter. So if the milk contains butter, you show me where the butter is now. The king was wondering, how can I show where butter is? It is there, the entire milk is there. So God is also like that. He is there everywhere. Then what is he doing now? He is making beggars out of kings. And he is making beggars as kings. He is converting them. Is that so? You see what has happened in 2 minutes time. So king saw is a good reply and he gave him something and go. So it is like that is prevalent everywhere. It is sarvagataga. Akarta, he does not do any work, no action. Action requires motion, and there is no motion, therefore it doesn't act. Akartaha, abhoktha. Now, karta means one who does. Karta eva bhoktha bhavati. Bhoktha means, see, if your finger touches blood, Yeah, like a light, you can say that it's an experience. Bhokta means experience. If you touch a knife, it cuts you blood, it's an experience. You are a karta and you are experiencing the cut. So, Atma does not get killed. It's a karta, abhokta. It does not get injured, it does not get killed. So, Gita really starts with this very difficult topic of Atma. And the essence of this verse 12 is that Atma is Nityaha. It is eternal even if the body is gone. Why is Krishna saying this? Because he is trying to frame an argument that even if you kill all these people, their Atma is still there. So don't worry about it. So this is an argument he is trying to start with him and saying that, well, it's not really bad. You can kill them, but their Atma will survive. So the criminals cannot take their argument, look, I have killed somebody, but I have not really killed their Atma, so why don't you let me go? But that is a different thing altogether. So, na tvevaham jatu nasam natvam neme janadipaha. Jatu nasam. Jatu nasam means at any time. At any time was neme, not this. Na chaiva na bhavishyamaha sarve vaimataha param. Bhavishyamaha means shall be. What it means is neither you nor I or any of these princes. Janadipaha means referring to the kings and those who are fighting into princes was ever non-existent before. They were existing before also. Nor is it that we shall cease to be in the future because our Atma is going to survive. In other words, bodies appear and disappear, but Atma is eternal. It's like a device, like a telephone. Now you have a telephone, it works, and you pick up the telephone. If it doesn't work, you say the telephone is dead. But not the speaker. The speaker is alive. Only the device is dead. So you have the analogy where you have a body which has an Atman, the body passes away, but Atman is there. The device may be gone, but there is a speaker and there is lines of communication. So then, what then is birth and death? It's only appearance of a human body or a living body and then the disappearance of... No, as we go further, you will elaborate this and what he means by this. Missed one. Dehino asmin yata dehe
Dehino asmin yata dehe
Kaumaram yavvanam jara
Kaumaram yavvanam jara
Tata dehantara praptir
Tata dehantara praptir
Dhiras tatra namuhyati.
Dhiras tatra namuhyati.
Now asmin deha means what? In this body. There are basically 4 stages in the growth of a person. One is when he is born as a baby, balyaha, it's called. Then comes kaumaram, childhood, yauvanam, youth, middle age, and then jara, which is old age.
Geriatrics.
Yes, you are right. I think the word geriatrics has come from jara. It refers to old age. Many of these words are inherited from Sanskrit. So geriatrics is probably inherited from jara. So there are 4 stages. As a baby, then you as a kid, then you as a young man or a middle-aged person, then the old age. So in all these, does the name change? Your name Rajesh, let us say, right from the old age also same name continue. ID is same. But Rajesh, when he was 2 years old, is different from Rajesh who is going to be 80 years old.
Hope so.
Right? So as you become older, your appearance changes. It is not the same appearance, but the name remains the same. So, identity is becoming the same, just as a body experiences different changes from a baby, being a baby, to an old man. Extend this a little further. It migrates from one body to another body after the old age is gone. In other words, you are only extending the same line of argument into another phase. Just as you change your appearance, but if your ID is not changed, you go into, migrate into another body. The Atma remaining the same. The ID is the same. So here, Asmin Dehe, in this body, Kaumaram Yavvanam Jara, just as it happens, Tata Dehantara Praptir, Dhirastra Na Muhyati. Dehantara Prapti. Deha Antam means
Inside the body.
at the end of the body.
Deha Antam.
Dehantam. At the end of one body, one attains another body. Another body. Dhirastatra na muhyati. Dhiraha means what?
Courageous.
But in this case, it is not really courageous. It is the intelligent or wise. Means intelligent or wise. Someone who is intelligent, who has the wisdom in him, such a person does not grieve, muhyati, by this change of process from one body into another, like it happens during lifetime of a person, where your appearance changes depending on your age. So Gist is the intelligent person does not grieve over the end of his body, because it is migrating to another body. Now this is also fundamental of Hinduism religion, that we believe in rebirth. We believe in rebirth, that there are different Vedantam which explain you more on this, but the gist of this particular thing is just that. So, in other words, he's trying to tell Arjuna, don't grieve over it, because these people will be born again. You are not killing them completely, gone forever. They are going to take another shape and birth. Let's move on to the next slokam, which is 14. Matra sparshastu kaunteya
Matra sparshastu kaunteya
Sidoshtam sugadukkataha
Shitoshtam sukhadukkataha
Agamapayuno anityas
Agamapayuno anityas
Tam sthitishashva bharata
Tam stitishashva bharata.
Kaunteya is whom?
Kunti's putra.
Son of Kunti, Arjuna. He says, son of Kunti, oh son of Kunti, Matraha, the very first is Matraha. It is not referring to Matra,
Mother.
which is commonly used for a tablet. But here it is not tablet. It is not Matra tablet. Here it means, Matraha means the sense organs. Ma is to know, and Tra is an instrument. Now, we all have different senses of organs. We have 5 senses, what is called Jnanendriyam. What is Jnanendriyam?
Eyes, nose,
Eyes,
ears,
whatever 5 senses.
Now, nose, eyes, ears,
Yes.
the touch,
And taste.
taste. These are the 5 Jnanendriyam. Why they are called Jnanendriyam?
Allow you to sense things.
There is also another thing called Karmendriyam.
To do.
Right, to do.
Hands and
Hands and legs.
So
and
they
whatnot.
actually do that. So these Jnanendriyam actually don't do any work. If I see, my eyes see you, but I by itself is not taking part. It's
Brain,
actually
yeah.
the image I get of you in the retina is inverted. It's inverted. Like a convex lens, you have a camera and you focus on somebody, it gives you an inverted image on the screen. But that image gets inverted again by the brain because it sends. It's only a device. Likewise, the ears also listen. But what is being understood is by the brain. It only sends a message, it doesn't do any work by itself. Whereas your hands do the work, so they are called karmendriyam. So Jnanendriyam is something to know, instrument, the 5 sense organs. Spashastu is feeling. Spashastu. Spasha means
Touch.
feeling touch. Sitoshnam sukha dukkataha. Sitoshna means what?
Heat.
Shitam ushnam. Shitam nanada.
Winter, summer.
Cold. Ushnam naka
Hot.
heat. Sita ushnam. So it is called Sita ushnam. Actually people call it as weather because hot and cold. So it is here. Sita ushnam means heat and cold. Heat and cold. Sukha dukkataha. Sukha means pleasure. Dukkata means pain. Agam payuno. Agama payuno is Agama means
To come.
arrival. Arrivals and departures.
Fine.
Arrivals and departures. Anityaha. Anityaha means Nitya means permanent. Anitya means it's not permanent. Anityaha. Anityaha. Sitistvasva Bharata. Sitistvasva is means endure them, bear them, be tolerant. Bharata is Arjuna because it comes again in Bharata. In other words, he says the nature of life is such that what you feel with your senses come and go. Like the weather in Chicago. Suddenly it becomes hot, suddenly it becomes cold, suddenly it becomes windy and so on. They come and go. You can't change it. Can you? Despite all the scientific advancements, you cannot say Chicago will be a place like Chennai or Bangalore. Wish you could. But it cannot be. It has to go its own way. So, what is the option that you have?
Bad.
Bear it. Be tolerant about it. Otherwise, you find a job in California or Texas or something, which is other option. But there also you have other problems. It is not that any place is free from problems. You have problems everywhere. You have to tolerate something else there.
Correct.
Like the traffic in 101, maybe.
The drought.
Earthquake.
So, you cannot change the laws of nature. Better learn to accept them. If you're feeling cold, wear a jacket or keep an umbrella, wear a raincoat, whatever. So, when you run away from nature, your resistance to that comes down. So, he who remains unaffected by pain and pleasure, sukha dukkataha, he becomes firm in life. He becomes firm in life because he has to deal with opposites like manam, apamanam, loss and gain in business. So change your attitude and face them. Most problems are caused by the lack of that quality of endurance. So the gist of this is that you have to endure pain and pleasure, you have to bear heat and cold. You can see that these are all transition in nature. They come and go, agam paino. Anityaha, not permanent. Titischasva Bharata. Titischasva is to bear them. Please bear them. That is his advice to Arjuna in this case. So, this again, he points to the fact that you are not going to change anybody else, but you have to bear what is being given to you by nature. Going on further, Yam hi nya vayatayante te
Yam hina vyatayante te
Purusham Purusharashava
Purusham Purusharashava
Purusham Purusha Arshava
Purusham Purusharashava
Sabadukka Sukam Dhiram
Samadukha Sukam Dhiram
So Amrtatvaya Kalpate
So Amritatvaya Kalpate
Yam He is whom he is surely Na Vyatayante Te Na Vyatayantayete one who is not afflicted or affected. Purusham, man. Purusha Arshava means the wise amongst men. Amongst men, the wise one. Sabadukka Sukam Dhiram. Same in pain and pleasure. He can go in a limo, beautifully sitting, riding along in air-conditioned comfort. At the same time, he can walk across Sahara Desert barefoot. He finds both are same to him. It doesn't affect him. Same feeling. He doesn't think that one is a pleasure, the other one is a pain. Sabadukka Sukam Dhiram. Dhiram again is here referring to the power of discrimination, the power of being firm about what one thinks. Amrtatvaya kalpate, or immortality, to realize immortality. Kalpate, that person is fit to explore immortality. In other words, there are different type of people. Not everybody is fit to explore this. Krishna is saying not everybody is fit to even go and study Gita because it requires certain level of maturity. You can't say because I am disappointed in my life, I don't have proper work, I will go and study Gita. No. It is only fit for some people because they have to have a reasonable level of maturity to understand what is being talked about. The background has to be known, and you have to understand many things which are going to get complicated in future. You know, this is elementary, just we are starting now. You are going to go another 600 verses. So in each of these, Krishna advises many things. So to be absorbed, to grasp them, you should have a certain level of maturity. That is what he's talking about here. That man, an intelligent man, a wise person, who is discriminative, who knows what is good, what is bad, is best suited for immortality, to explore immortality. Fit for Vedantic inquiry. So, there are people like that. Adi Shankaracharya was one. In recent times, Kanchi Paramacharya, who never felt separate from pain or pleasure. He walked all the way, 21 years he walked all the way to North India. Despite all kinds of weather, all kinds of terrains, very challenging kind of task. Just imagine somebody walking for 21 years all around. Coming back, and even at the age of 100 he was still active. I have seen him when he was 80, he used to jump, like what Arya and Vivek did here. He jumped like that. Where he was sitting, from there he jumped. So active, that is a kind of rare person. Gandhi also was like that. I am told that he never spent even one day without reading one verse from Gita. So there are great people like that who are qualified for this kind of exploration. Go on further. Nasato vidyate bhavo
नासतो विद्यते भावो
na bhavo vidyate sataha
नाभावो विद्यते सतः
upayorapi drishtanta
उभयोरपि दृष्टान्त
tasvan ayos tattvadarshibhihi.
तस्मान्नयोस्तत्त्वदर्शिभिः.
You know, there is saying in English, "O Lord, give me the strength to change those things which I can. And O Lord, give me the strength to accept those things which I cannot change. And finally, O Lord, give me the strength to distinguish between the two, what I can change and what I cannot change." Because if you try to change something which you cannot by any means, you are only wasting your energy and time and perhaps money too. Focus on those things which you can change. If you are going to try to climb the Mount Everest, even though it may be possible, it may take quite a number of efforts. It's not possible. So, go and run marathon here in Chambari. That is possible. You can do it, right? Even that may be a little difficult for some people. So, this philosophy is something you should be discriminative. You should know. Vivek means discrimination. You should use Vivekam to understand what is good and what is not good. So I can change my job, I can change my dress and be comfortable, but I cannot change Chicago's unpredictable weather or say that there should be no earthquake in Nepal. That's not possible. So there is a way to manage it. Many things is become a shock absorber, I think. I saw the Rand road, they have made it rough now. Unfortunately, I have a good shock absorber in the car, so it is able to absorb the shocks. But imagine a Katara car, it will be bumpy and you will have all kinds of problems. So, you need to have your own shock absorber to absorb shocks. So, buy one good shock absorber and develop one. So, that's what he says, that wise people have that kind of shock absorber. Here, nasato vidyate. Now, there is something called svabhava, intrinsic nature. Bhavo, na bhavo. What is svabhavam? Avanude svabhavam padithulla. It is an intrinsic nature. It's a permanent nature. Agantu karmaha, which is incidental, which is not really svabhavam. It is a quality which is borrowed, which is temporary or copied. To give you an example, you take fire. What is the intrinsic quality of fire? Svabhavam.
To burn.
To heat.
To heat.
Right? To heat or burn. Whether it is in Alaska or in India or in America, fire will heat. No matter what the environment is. So supposing I keep a cup of coffee, I want to heat it. And below there is fire. The fire heats it. I take the coffee out and then I go up. I forget about it. After some time what happens? Will the coffee be still hot like fire? No. Because it is borrowed that quality of heating from fire, but loses it after some time. So there are bhavo, na bhavo. Swabhavam is one which is intrinsic nature. And there is something else which is borrowed nature. So, the nature of the fire is to heat and then just heat all the time. So, na asata. Na asata means not of the real. There is one called real, the other one is called unreal. Fire is real. The heat in the coffee is unreal. Na asato, not of the real. Vidyate is. Bhavaha is intrinsic or real quality. Bhavaha. Na bhavo is unreal, opposite of bhava. Ubayoho, between the two, drishta is seen, antaha, final truth. Anayo, of these, tattvadarshibhi, by the knowers of truth. What it means is the knowers of truth know what is real and what is unreal. For example, I have a gold ring, let's say. Now, when it was originally made, it was made from gold. Gold is real. Now, this is taken the form of a ring. Now, tomorrow I want to change this design and go into another ring, let's say. So, they'll melt it. It becomes gold again and takes another shape. So, the gold by itself is real. But this ring is unreal because it has only assumed a form which is temporary, which can be changed. Like the cup of coffee loses its heat in a short time. Same way, there are two things. One is that which is real, the other one which is unreal. And the person, the wise person, knows the difference between the two, real and the unreal. The unreal has no existence as such. It is only temporary. The real is having full existence. So, the wise people, they have grasped the truth between the real and the unreal. In other words, the real thing is what I talked earlier, the consciousness called Atma, which is the real thing, which exists, which has permanent existence. I mentioned earlier, it is not perishable, it is imperishable. The fire has its heat, which is not perishable, but the coffee loses its heat. So that is Atma, and this is Anatma, unreal. So this is what Krishna is trying to say in this particular story. So I think we have probably exceeded our time of 1 hour, and I think I would stop at this slokam. We'll probably continue the next slokam, even though there is one more in this. I had 1 or 2 more. Let me see.
3 more.
There is 1 more, but that's going to take quite some time. So maybe we'll stop with the slokam verse 16 and start with 17 in the next one. So I also don't want to give you a very heavy dose because then you find it difficult to grasp it. So right now the dosage has started. It shouldn't be so heavy that you'll fall off to sleep. So let's do it next time. Sarvatra Govinda Nama Sankirtanam
Govinda, Govinda.